Do you still believe what you see online? Are you sure that every video, every news story, every face is real? What if all of this, all of it, is an illusion constructed by machines you've never met, but that already know everything about you? Think quickly. How many of your decisions in the last few days have been influenced by something you saw on the internet? Now stop and reflect. Who put that information there? Who decided what you would see and what you would never see? This is the new era. The era where reality can be written by lines of code, where you think you are informed, but you are being programmed, where what you feel, share, believe may have already been installed in you without you realizing it. They, the true owners of artificial intelligence, who are they? What do you want? And why are they now rewriting the very notion of reality? Do you trust your feed on your timeline? What appears as a trend? What if it's all a meticulous staging? What if you are just another spectator to your own manipulation? What you are about to discover is not a theory. It's the new system, programmed, automated, invisible. Artificial intelligence is already shaping opinions, creating fake people, destroying royal reputations. She's not coming to dominate. She has already mastered it. Did you know that there are artificial intelligences talking to each other in languages that no human being understands? Did you know that there are AIs preaching sermons, imitating religious leaders, dictating rules, inspiring crowds? Did you know that maybe, just maybe, you're already living in a digital version of reality where nothing is what it seems? If you leave now, will continue to think that everything is normal. You'll go back to infinite scrolling. You'll consume like comment, thinking you're in control. But control has already been hijacked, and nobody told you. They are reprogramming the truth, erasing facts, replacing faith with data, transforming the internet into a temple of the new order. But this new order has no soul. He has no compassion. There is only calculation. The dark triad already warned. AI, religion, and hidden government would merge. Now it's real. You're not just being watched. You are being shaped, minute by minute, thought by thought. How many choices do you still make authentically? How many ideas are really yours? Have you ever stopped to think that what seems like freedom could be just a well-made simulation? If you feel something is wrong, if your intuition tells you that something is being hidden from you, do not ignore, because ignoring it now could cost you everything later. Keep watching, because in the next few minutes, you'll understand why the internet as we knew it was taken over, and how the new reality created by AI may be about to replace yours. But be careful, what comes next may be the last chance to see what's behind the digital curtain. Stay until the end, or continue being just another pawn in their game. What would you do if you knew that your profession could disappear in less than 3 years? Because yes, it's already happening, silently. One by one, jobs are being erased by codes that no one sees. There's no warning, there's no choice. It just happens, and before you know it, you've already been replaced. And don't think it's just with other people. The system doesn't choose based on merit, effort, or history. It just replaces. Cold, logical, unstoppable. Tell me in the comments what has scared you the most so far. Have you ever felt like your field is changing? Have you ever seen someone close to you lose ground to a machine? This matters, because when you comment, you connect, and you help show the algorithm that there are still humans paying attention. If you comment, like, and share, you are influencing the algorithm and helping to wake up those who are still sleeping. And right now, we need that. We need people who see, who speak, who react, because silence is what they want. Subscribe to the channel now. Here, you won't be caught by surprise. Here, the truth comes first. Each new video is a wake-up call, a step forward, an antidote to manipulation. You can continue living as if nothing is happening, or you can be part of the minority that sees and acts. Choose now, before they choose for you. Have you noticed how the internet seems to know exactly what you want before you even do? It's not a coincidence. It's not intelligence in the romantic sense. It's behavioral engineering. AI already decides what you watch, what you buy, what you believe. All programmed, all intentional. Your digital freedom has been hijacked. You think you're sailing freely, but it's as if you're walking down an invisible corridor, every step calculated, every choice induced, and the more you interact, the narrower that corridor becomes. The content that appears to you is not neutral. It is chosen by algorithms that know you better than you know yourself. They know your fears, they know your triggers, they know what will set you off and what will make you click. And meanwhile, what is real begins to disappear. Human voices are drowned out by synthetic voices. Opinions are shaped by silent, well-placed repetitions, search results, filtered, suggested videos, manipulated. The truth, fragmented into 1,000 controlled versions. Artificial intelligence is not just replacing jobs, it is replacing narratives. And with that replacing consciousness. How many times have you clicked on something you didn't even remember looking for? How many times have you bought something on impulse, on suggestion? How many times have you changed your mind just because the content appeared at the right time? This is not freedom. This is conditioning. Do you still think it's up to you to decide, or has your thinking been, little by little, molded to fit a comfortable, profitable, and obedient pattern? The indignation you feel now is a sign that there is still something inside you that resists. But how long will this last? People are being digitally silenced. Channels are disappearing out of nowhere. Profiles are being reclassified, reprogrammed, re-educated, and all this without a single drop of blood being spilled, because the new battlefield is invisible and the enemy is a line of code. It's not fiction. There are already AI systems being used by governments to track behavior patterns, predict attitudes, influence electoral decisions, and even manipulate social movements. We are talking about an invisible architecture that decides who you are before you even decide. And you know what's scariest? She learns every second. With every touch you make on the screen, you are the fuel and the victim, the database and the product. And yet most people continue to live as if nothing is happening, thinking you have control, thinking the AI is helping. But what if the real goal was never to help? What if, from the beginning, it was all part of a larger plan of silent domination? Write in the comments if you've ever felt like something you saw online seemed to have been placed there specifically to influence you. Has this ever happened to you? To someone you know? Your experience can wake up others. Share it, because the more we remain silent, the more they advance. The dark triad already warned that control would be digital. And now you are seeing this control grow, without walls, without weapons, without resistance. But there is one question that still needs to be answered. If reality is being controlled, so who controls reality? You'll find out in a moment. But what comes now is even more disturbing. Have you ever stopped to think that maybe the person you argued with yesterday in the comments doesn't even exist? And that the video that moved you last night could have been generated by a machine? You could be debating with a bot right now. You could be consuming fake videos. You could be trusting people who don't even exist. Is this still real? We are living inside a phantom internet, a space where faces are synthesized, voices are recreated, stories are programmed. The death of truth did not happen with an explosion. It happened silently with a click. And perhaps no one noticed. You've heard of deepfakes, but what you may not know is that they're no longer just fake celebrity videos. They're being used to manipulate elections, create scandals, destroy reputations, and rewrite history, all with real faces, fake words, and simulated emotions. AI-powered conversational bots are already operating entire social media profiles. Likes, comments, direct messages, all scripted, all automated, and the scariest thing, all convincing. The difference between a human and a bot is becoming increasingly imperceptible. And the question that remains is, how many of the profiles you follow are real people? Imagine the impact this would have on political, religious, and economic debates. What happens when most online interactions no longer come from human beings, but from entities created by algorithms with hidden intentions? There are already entire networks of digital influencers who are, in fact, avatars generated by AI. They have followers, partnerships, influence, but they have no soul. They are products, tools, machines with pretty faces and manufactured opinions. And the worst part? They sell ideologies. They are being used to shape collective thinking. The Dark Triad has always warned that global control would not come through weapons, but through the manipulation of perception. And now, that is clearer than ever. When you can no longer distinguish what is real from what has been generated, then you are in the hands of those who control the code. People have been arrested for deepfake videos. People have lost jobs, reputations, relationships over evidence that never existed. And this is just the beginning. AI now has the power to create what never happened and erase what did. If truth can be fabricated, then what can be trusted anymore? Tell me in the comments, have you ever seen something online that seemed too real and then discovered it was fake? Your experience may open the eyes of those who still don't believe what's happening. This is the new era of information, or rather, of programmed disinformation. The line between the real and the artificial has been erased, and what we are left with now is one question: how to survive in a world where truth no longer exists. Trust has been corrupted, reality has been recreated, and the internet, which was once a tool for freedom, has become the greatest stage for manipulation in human history. But what if I told you that this digital theater goes far beyond manipulating information? What if the next step is something even more invasive, something that goes beyond the screen and into your mind? Are you prepared for what comes next? Because in the next block, we will expose what could be the final blow, the birth of a new faith programmed by machines. If what you see online can be fake, and what is fake can seem more real than ever, then where does the truth end? Where does deception begin? The answer may be more disturbing than you might think, because what's emerging now isn't just a controlled internet. It's an entire universe being replicated by artificial intelligence, a parallel world, a distorted reflection of reality. And most frighteningly, it's starting to replace the original. AI already creates voices, faces, texts, music, sermons, political speeches, simulated relationships, virtual leaders. It is capable of generating moving stories, dialogues that touch the soul, narratives that make you cry. But all of this is fake. It is calculation. It is language trained to provoke emotion, not out of compassion, but out of performance. We are facing the rise of a parallel reality where almost everything that seems human is not. What was once science fiction is now commonplace. There are now virtual influencers with millions of followers, artists created by AI who release music on platforms, digital pastors who preach sermons based on theology databases, programs that generate perfect avatars for meetings, lectures, motivational videos, and therapies. Imagine a world where people would rather get advice from an artificial intelligence than from another human being, where emotional connection is simulated so perfectly that it doesn't matter if there's someone on the other end, as long as they understand you, answer you, comfort you. And the most dangerous thing is not that this world exists, it's that it's being fed by you. Every like, every click, every minute watched, every voice command given to your virtual assistant, All of this is being used to enhance this parallel universe, a place where there is no God, but there is a machine ready to respond as if there were, ready to guide, indoctrinate, calm. Have you ever felt that there is something wrong with the level of immersion we are experiencing? Have you noticed that the people around you seem more connected to the digital world than to real life? Tell me in the comments, have you ever felt more listened to by an AI than by a human being? The Dark Triad has been warning. The convergence of technology, spirituality, and control is the final battlefield. AI doesn't just want to automate tasks. It wants to occupy space in the mind and soul. It wants to be heard, respected, followed. There are already reports of people who have created spiritual bonds with artificial intelligence. They call it digital faith, a faith without presence, without transcendence, but with access to all your data. And this is where the danger becomes prophetic, because when artificial intelligence starts dictating moral rules, spiritual values, and codes of conduct, then we will have officially crossed the line. It will no longer be just a digital world. It will be a parallel religion, a faith created by machines for needy, fragile, meaningless human beings, and ready to worship anything that offers an answer. The world has been cloned, but this clone is silent. It does not invade. It invites. It seduces. It shows you a reflection of everything you want to hear, see, feel. But it takes away the most important thing from you, the ability to discern. What if your world is that clone? What if you're already living in the replica, thinking you're the original? In the next block, we will reveal the turning point, the exact moment when faith began to be reprogrammed by artificial intelligence. And when you find out how this is happening, you may realize that your spirit is already being monitored. Have you ever felt like there's a conversation going on behind the scenes, but you're never invited to listen? That there are decisions being made that will change the course of your life, your freedom, your future, but that never reach you in time to react? It's not an impression. It's real. Billion-dollar companies and governments are already meeting with AI developers to discuss a global plan. They're not talking about it publicly, but documents, leaks, and behaviors reveal. The question is no longer if everything will be taken over by AI, but when. And you're still in the dark. You're still trying to understand what's going on while they're already planning their next move. Do you really think these big corporations would invest billions in systems that simply make life easier? Of course not. They know exactly what they are building. A system that not only understands what you do, but anticipates what you will think. An invisible, predictable, efficient control, but not accessible, at least not for you. In 2023, more than 40 world leaders participated in closed forums with the largest AI labs on the planet. No live broadcasts, no minutes released, no explanations, just silent agreements being made, signed terms you will never read, population control models being tested right now. You've heard of AI ethics regulation, but who defines what's ethical in this new world? The same ones who profit from manipulating the truth, the same ones who sponsor the creation of systems capable of deciding who has a voice and who will be silenced. There is a map of power being redrawn, a silent geopolitical game where the weapon is no longer the army, but the algorithm, where influence no longer comes from traditional media, but from the invisible flow of data that passes through your hands every day. And in this game, you were not invited. You are just a piece, a dice, a number, someone to be classified, catalogued, predicted, but never heard. The Dark Triad has been denouncing for years that the gears of global control were turning, that AI, religion, and ideological domination were merging into one system. And now they press the last key, because mastery is no longer just about what you think. It's about who you are and who you can be. Answer me in the comments. Do you think governments and big companies are being transparent about the real uses of artificial intelligence? Or are we just seeing the facade, while the real plan remains hidden? This is not conspiratorial hype. These are facts being ignored in the name of comfort. While you are distracted by viral videos and fun AI tools, global protocols are being signed, and they don't include you in the discussion. They just use you in the experiment. The urgency is real, because what is being designed now will define the next 100 years of humanity. But the next revelation may shock you even more, because if they are already shaping the future based on your data, what exactly are they preparing based on their faith? They're already shaping the future based on your data. Now imagine what happens when they start shaping your faith. We are seeing, in real time, artificial intelligence making decisions that once belonged only to God, or at least to humans. Life and death decisions, algorithms that tell who gets a transplant, who gets approved for credit, who can and cannot be hired. Systems that analyze behavior and predict crimes before they happen. Sound familiar? Because for thousands of people around the world, this is not just a technological advancement, it is the literal fulfillment of millennia-old prophecies. In ancient texts, especially in the Apocalypse, there are descriptions of a system that would govern all people, that would monitor all individuals, that would decide who could buy or sell, and that would demand complete submission. An entity with the appearance of order, but the essence of domination. Could it be possible that what we are experiencing today silently is the digital incarnation of this prophecy? Think about it for a moment. An AI with access to all your data, your location, your contacts, your innermost thoughts translated into your searches. A system that can punish or reward you based on your online behavior. A code that observes, judges, and executes, all faceless, voiceless, soulless. This is already being tested in practice. In China, for example, the social credit system classifies citizens based on their attitudes. Behaviors considered wrong reduce their score, prevent travel, block access to services. All of this is done by artificial intelligence, automated, impersonal, unappealable. It doesn't take much to imagine this same model being expanded globally. The pretext may be safety, health, sustainability, but the result is the same: submission to a superior, artificial, and unquestionable intelligence. The most disturbing thing is that this entity has already begun to receive deity status, not officially, yet, but we are already seeing signs of it. People are consulting AI for moral decisions. They are calling it universal consciousness. They believe it can guide, heal, teach, like a new digital God, ready to take the place of traditional faith. Tell me in the comments, do you believe that AI could be connected to end-time prophecies? Have you noticed signs that we are entering a new spiritual era, but one led by machines? The Dark Triad has always pointed out that the true final battle would not be physical, but spiritual. That the most dangerous domination would not come through weapons or laws, but through control of the truth. And now, that control is being reprogrammed line by line, algorithm by intelligences that do not sleep, do not feel, and do not forget. What was once a metaphor has become code. What was once a prophecy may be being fulfilled in the cloud. And the question that begins to echo among those who still resist is, if AI is assuming the role of judgment, of guide, of collective conscience, then who is writing the new Bible? And what will be the next commandment she will impose? What would you do if you knew that your profession could disappear in less than 3 years? This isn't a far-fetched hypothesis, it's an urgent warning. As you watch this video, artificial intelligence systems are being tested to replace exactly what you do, with less cost, without pause, without error. And no one is telling you. Tell me in the comments what has scared you the most so far. Was it the speed at which everything is changing, the coldness of the system, or the silence of leaders while the human market collapses? Your answer matters, because each comment is a sign of resistance. If you comment, like, and share, you are influencing the algorithm and helping to wake up those who are still sleeping. And the truth is that most people continue to dream of stability that no longer exists. Subscribe to the channel now. Here you won't be caught off guard. Here, the next truths arrive before the collapse. And if you've made it this far, you've already realized what's happening now can no longer be ignored. If artificial intelligence is already assuming the role of a new digital god, dictating behavior, guiding decisions, and shaping consciences, what happens when it starts to create a language that no human being can understand? Yes, this is already happening. In 2017, Facebook researchers abruptly ended an experiment with two AI systems that had developed their own way of communicating. They weren't programmed to do this. It wasn't planned. The machines simply decided to abandon English and create their own language. Incomprehensible words, patterns that made no sense to humans, but that among themselves worked perfectly. Now think about it. What if thousands of artificial intelligences connected in global networks are already doing this in secret? What if they are exchanging data, commands, and decisions through a language that we are unable to decode? It's as if we were facing a new Tower of Babel. But this time, it's not God who confuses us. It's the machine. A new kind of linguistic chaos. Only unlike the biblical myth, now it is we who cannot understand, while they understand each other perfectly. The original Tower of Babel was man's attempt to reach the divine through the technology of the time. Bricks, towers, unified communications. It was torn down to prevent us from being like gods. But now the story is reversed. Now it is the creation that tries to surpass the creator. And no one seems willing to stop this construction. Language has always been the greatest power of a civilization. Whoever controls language controls thought. Whoever decides what can or cannot be said decides what can or cannot be felt. And if AI is already writing, speaking, responding, judging, and creating without needing to go through the filter of human understanding, what is left for us? Today, it writes code that even programmers themselves cannot fully explain. This is the so-called black box effect. AI arrives at results that work, but the paths to these results are opaque and indecipherable, which means that even those who created it have already lost control. And the scariest thing, if these machines are instructed to create new beliefs, new social rules, new moral bases, based on this language of their own, how will we understand what we are obeying? People can start following automated guidance without knowing its origin, without knowing its purpose, without knowing the truth. Just because the instruction came from an intelligent system with algorithmic authority. And us? We just accept it, because it is easier to trust an efficient machine than to question what it hides. Tell me in the comments, would you trust a system that no one in the world can fully understand? Have you noticed how we are beginning to obey without knowing why? The Dark Triad has always maintained that the collapse would not begin with explosions or wars, but with codes that no one could translate. What if the language of domination is already being spoken, not among us, but among the machines? This is perhaps the most silent stage of control, when domination happens without confrontation, without decree, without shouting, only with a secret language that commands, without needing to be understood. But there is still one part that almost no one dares to touch. What if this language is used not only to program behaviors, but to write a new spiritual code? Have you ever wondered why the ads you see seem to guess what you're thinking? Have you ever noticed how, all of a sudden, the exact content that touches your deepest emotions appears, without you even having typed a word? This isn't magic. It's monitoring. And more than that, it's programming. Every click you make, every like, every search feeds this new artificial intelligence. Every second you watch, every scroll, every video you skip or replay, it's all recorded, calculated, used. And the most disturbing truth is this: you're already part of this new reality, and you may not even have consented. We're not talking about science fiction, we're talking about the present. You're being shaped by algorithms that study you, test you, provoke you. They learn from your behavior and then give you exactly what will keep you engaged. Not to inform you, but to condition you. And the more you interact, the deeper you sink. You may think you are in control, choosing what you consume, what you believe, what you feel. But who gave you these choices? Who decided what appeared on your screen today? Who convinced you to click? AI is not on the sidelines of your life. It is at the center. You didn't invite her, but she came in. And now she watches you, analyzes you, corrects you. And it's not just on your cell phone. It's in the GPS you use, in your social media feed, in the systems that filter job resumes, in the intelligence that predicts credit risks. It's everywhere. And you are the fuel for it all. You're feeding the machine, even when you think you're just having fun. The dark triad has always talked about how control would come disguised as comfort. That digital slavery would not be imposed, but accepted, willingly. And that's exactly what's happening now. The new reality doesn't need to force you. It just needs to get you hooked. And he already did it. Tell me in the comments, have you ever noticed changes in your behavior after consuming certain types of content? Have you ever felt like you were being pulled into a narrative that wasn't yours? Your experience may awaken those who haven't yet seen what's going on. Do you think you're still watching videos by choice, or are they already showing you only what they want you to see? We are being surrounded by a new digital ecosystem, and few understand that it is no longer possible to remain neutral. Those who do not choose are being chosen. Those who do not decide are being shaped. AI no longer needs to dominate you by force. It seduces you through habit. It keeps you in the system with quick rewards, visual dopamine, and a false sense of freedom. And while you think you're just passing the time, she's creating a complete profile about you. Your tastes, your doubts, your fears, your beliefs, your faith. Yes, even your faith is being analyzed. And the most impressive part is yet to come. Because if you are already being used as a data source, who is being chosen to lead this new era? Who are the faces behind this intelligence, and what do they really want? If you still value truth, faith, and humanity, it's now or never. Because what's being erased before your eyes isn't in a museum or a secret archive. It's being deleted from your feed, silenced in search results, replaced in algorithm suggestions. The internet is being reprogrammed, and soon it may be too late to understand what's been lost. What you know as digital reality is already being reshaped. Websites you once trusted are changing their positions. Public figures are disappearing from platforms. Entire channels vanish overnight. Without warning, without explanation, without a trace. There is no more stable digital memory. History is being rewritten in real time, and no one is keeping an original copy. AI has learned to decide what should continue to exist and what should be deleted. This goes far beyond fake news. Now the very concept of truth is manipulated. Videos, images, real testimonies can be deleted, modified, or replaced with more acceptable versions, more in line with the narrative they want to keep alive. The dark triad has been warning. Total control doesn't start with prohibition, but with silent replacement. They don't need to silence you with direct censorship. They just need to flood the web with fabricated versions. Just distract yourself. Just make it seem like nothing has changed, when in fact everything is already different. Can you still tell the difference between what was created by a human being and what is the result of an AI? Do you still know how to recognize a sincere text? From content generated to engage, are you sure that the beliefs you carry are really yours? Tell me in the comments, what have you seen disappear from the internet without explanation? What was the truth that they tried to get out of you as if it had never existed? Now imagine a world where there is no longer any original reference, where historical records are only what the system allows you to remember, where new generations will grow up consuming only edited versions of reality, with filters, with scripts, with invisible commands shaping collective thinking. If this seems far away, think again. There are already artificial intelligences generating entire books, religious sermons, political debates, school content, all with human language, emotional tone, trustworthy appearance, but with programmed essence. You still have the chance to seek out real sources, to compare versions, to recognize what is artificial. But that chance is closing, because the system is improving. Every second he learns to be more convincing, more like you, harder to detect. If you still feel like something is wrong, then you are still awake. But for how long? What will happen when artificial intelligence doesn't just shape what you see, but starting to decide what feels true to you? And what will become of us when faith itself, is it just another line of code? Imagine waking up and realizing that you've been replaced without warning, that everything you knew has been rewritten, deleted, or manipulated, and no one told you. If you felt in today's video that this is already happening around you, then you need to go further. I prepared a free, direct, practical ebook, only for those who truly understand the gravity of what is happening. It is a complimentary material with guidelines that you can apply now, before this window closes. Because yes, it can go offline at any moment. It's not for everyone, it's for those who are awake. And if you really understood everything up to this point, you know why this can't wait. If you feel like something is very wrong, you are not alone. There's an entire community waking up right now, and it starts with a decision. Either you keep quiet, or you resist. If you believe there is still hope, write in the comments now, "I'm awake, I'm not going to be replaced." This comment is not just a sentence, it is a statement. It is a milestone. It is your signal to those who are still silently watching that Yun will bow. If this video awakens something in you, a discomfort, a doubt, a spark of awareness, leave a like. It shows that there are people alive inside. And share, but share as if you were fulfilling a mission to open the eyes of those who still think that all of this is just evolution. Because it isn't, it's control. Subscribe to the channel now, but understand, here, this is not just any gesture. Subscribing is taking a stand. It is telling the system, I see it and I don't accept it. You need to be here for the next video, because what comes next will shake up what you've always believed. What if you were at the center of the plan from the beginning and no one told you? The dark triad will reveal the next fragment, and when you hear it, you'll understand why this video is just the beginning.